everyone, Tracy here with Paper Closet Designs, and today's video is for some new cards that I have done. You have probably heard of the penny slider cards. They've been around for a really long time. You use a penny to make the sliding mechanism, and then your pieces slide. Let me get that in the window. So I have got some new slider cards, but I'm calling mine glider cards with a G, glider. And I have come up with a way to do these without using the penny. And I've also found a little plastic device that works. So I'm going to show you how to do both of those. Now this video is going to be a little bit longer because I do have 6 cards, but I will go ahead and put the chapter notes down below so that you can go directly to the card that you are interested in making. However, I do recommend that you watch this first part because it's going to show you the supplies that you need and then how to assemble both of the glider pieces before we get into the actual cards. So what you will need is you're going to need a tape runner or glue, one or the other or both. I like my ATG gun, and I also like my little needle nose glue bottle. Some of these cards do have tiny pieces, so you're going to want something that has a little bit of that smaller opening. Excuse me. You will absolutely need foam tape, and then if you can do the squares or the dots if you have them, but you'll also need a pair of scissors. And then lastly, if you want the plastic glider pieces, I will give you a link down below, but I just ordered these online. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to kind of move all of these out of the way. And I'm going to show you how to assemble the glider pieces first. So your file will come with 6 of these round circles, and you can just cut them out on your machine. And then this piece that has the track in it, this is your track piece, and each card is going to have a track piece, and all of the track pieces are a little bit different depending on the size of the card and what you want it to do. Some are arcs or some are straight lines. We have some swirls, so they're all going to be a little bit different. To assemble the glide piece, all you need to do is you'll have 6 of these round circles. And I know after I cut them out, I thought I've cut white out on a white desk. But you're just going to put some glue and you're going to stack them up. And you're going to do a stack of 3 and then a second stack of 3. And you'll want to make sure that the edges are all nice and flush and that they're kind of squished down. And I do this part first before I put the cards together because then I can put it under something flat to hold it while they dry while I assemble my card. So you'll have 2 stacks with 3 of those circles to begin with. Just like that. Now, like I said, I would normally put those underneath something. I would lay my phone on top of them or something just to hold them flat. But since I'm just doing this to show you how it's done, I'm going to go ahead and leave them as is. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your track piece, flip it over to the back, and place your stack of circles kind of in the middle. It doesn't need to be perfect. And then flip it over. Next, you will take some foam tape and you're going to want to cut it down so that it fits inside that track. So you want under 1/4 of an inch. And I'm just going to eyeball it. And you're going to lay it right down inside that track piece, inside the groove. Take the bottom off, or the sticky off, and make sure that that is going to slide. And then we're going to take this second stack of circles and just put it right on top of there, press it, and then all you have to do is make sure that that slides. And if it doesn't slide, there's a couple of things you can do. You can either see if your adhesive, your tape your foam tape. If it's too wide, it might not slide. Or you can take a paintbrush with a little bit of like baby powder or any type of powder and just brush along your track lines. But it should slide. I think I got on this one. There we go. It should just slide just fine. So that's how you use the circle pieces that come in your file. Now, if you have something else, or if you want to use, sorry, I got sidetracked. If you wanted to use the glider pieces, I'll show you how to do those. They fit the track just as well, and these are the glider pieces. So they have, the set that I bought has, I'm going to hold that really close so you can see it. The set that I bought has two different ones in it. It has one that has a straight line and one that has a circle in the middle. The straight line goes along your track straight. The one with a circle, as it goes along your track, will spin a little bit. So it depends on which one you want to use. I will put a link down below where I got these. The package that I bought was a package of 40, and I think it was around $7. I can't remember exactly. And they've got bigger packages. And then you do not need your foam tape. The other thing I like about these is it comes with some pre-adhesive stickers so that you can stick your image right to your glider instead of having to glue it on. So what we're going to do is I'm just grabbing one, and you're going to slip it into your track. Now, let me hold this up really close again. There's the rectangle. So this one's just going to slide back and forth. And on the other side is kind of blank. But if you run your finger over it, sometimes that other side has a little bump on it. You can take an embroidery file and, not an embroidery file, a nail file, emery file, and sand that down a little bit. Or what I have found is I just put that at the top of my track and put this edge, the flat edge, on the bottom. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this edge that has the rectangle cut out of it, and I'm going to slip it right into my track. And now it slides back and forth. Super, super easy. I don't know how well you can see that on the screen. I really like these little plastic gliders. I think they work so well, and you don't have to worry about the tape. But if you don't want to, or you're not going to be doing a bunch of those, then go ahead and do the circles. For today's card, like I said, we're going to do 3 of them. Or 6 of them. I'm going to do 3 with the paper mechanical circles that I've cut out, and then 3 with the little plastic gliders. So let's go ahead and get started. The first one that I'm going to do is our Hello card, and it just has a flower. And this one I did do with the plastic glider, and you'll kind of notice that the flower spins a little bit as it goes up and down the hills. For this card, I'm going to use the stacked circles, and I have already glued them together and had something sitting on them so that they were flat. So in your file, you will get the 6 circles that I've glued into 2 stacks. You will get your little hello, and I just cut that from paper. A banner. This is a simple card. It has the flower in the middle of the flower. You have the track, and I cut this out of some printed paper. This is my new Summer Treats paper that I have designed, and I used that for the front of this. And then the back piece, or the embellishment piece, and then your card. So we're going to fold the card in half. This is a mini slimline card. We're just going to fold it in half. And then the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue or tape this paper onto the front. Now this one is a double-sided. It's white on one side and blue on the other. It's just some that I had on hand. I'm going to glue it, and it goes on so that there's a little bit of the card showing through it. And all of my cards are designed this same way. So now we have the track piece. When you put your track piece on here, you will notice that the back piece is going to show through. And so you can do a coordinating color, you can do something opposite, or you can do something that is the same color. I have a little bit of everything that I'm going to show you today. Before we glue this on though, we want to assemble our track piece. So I'm going to flip it over and put my stacked circles kind of in the middle. And then we're going to get a piece of the foam tape. I'm just going to cut a little piece off. I am using foam tape that is, I believe this is 1/4 of an inch. I'll need to double check on that, but I do believe it's 1/4 of an inch thick. Going to stick that right on that white circle in between the 2 lines of the track and pull it off. And then add the top circles. And we want to kind of make sure that that is going to slide, and it is. I think that the paper ones don't glide quite as well, and on this, until I get it glued down, it's not going to be perfect. Okay, so now we want to take our decorative pieces. Because this piece is going to slide, we want to make sure that anything that we put on here that is decorative is down really, really well and flat. So I'm going to take my banner and lay it down flat first. And then I'm going to take my little word that says hello, and it is kind of tiny, but it will cut out just fine out of your machine. The other option is you could cut it out of vinyl, and then it would stick down really well. And I do a lot of my lettering sometimes with vinyl. Okay, so we've got some glue on there. And let's just put our hello right there and make sure that it is sticking down really well. Okay, once that's done, we can go ahead and add our flower to the dial piece. Not the dial piece, the glider piece. Oh my goodness, it's going to be a long day because I can't get my words right. And then we can do our centerpiece. And just lay it right there on the center of the flower. Right, now it is ready to go onto our card. Let's wait for that glue to dry a little bit. So I'm going to flip it over, and this is what we need to do. This has to be raised high enough so that the glider piece glides back and forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tape, and instead of going all the way around, see where the hills and the valleys are? You want tape on those so that it lifts it up a little bit. If I only put tape, the foam tape on the edges, those hills and valleys would fall down and the slider would get caught on the paper behind it. So I'm just going to cut some thinner pieces to start with. And we're going to put them on those hills and valleys, but we want to make sure that it's far enough out that the glider piece is not going to bump into it. We want it close enough that it gives it support, but far enough away that the glider piece doesn't hit it. So if you're using the plastic ones, it's a little bit smaller, if that makes sense. Okay, now that I've got those peaks and valleys, now I need to go ahead and put some on the corners. So bring my tape over here again. This is one of the reasons that I really like the tape on a roll. I think it's more economical to begin with, but then you can cut them to the size that you need. You're not trying to cut those little tiny squares in half or circles in half, but whatever you have on hand really will work. That one I might have gotten too close to the edge. Okay, so now let's peel off those back pieces. And then we can just turn it right side up and adhere it to our card. Let's get it going in the right direction. I'm just going to match up those corners. And there we go. And now our little piece should slide and slide back. Such a fun little card. Hello. This would work great for summer, for a birthday, a shower, a wedding, and the mini slimline cards are probably my favorite size because they're perfect for putting in some money, a gift card. If you still do checks, you could put a check in there, although I don't think most people even know what a check is. But tickets to somewhere, I love this size. So there is our Hello Glide card. Next up, we're going to do the pumpkin glide card, and this one I am going to do with one of my little plastic gliders. And I think I'm going to do this one with the straight line so that it doesn't really spin. So what comes in this file is you have a layered pumpkin with a layered flower. So we have the flower center, the actual flower, the leaf, and then our pumpkin, we have the background with the stem, and that's the only thing that's going to show on this. So you'll cut it out of the piece that you want your stem. And then you have 2 pumpkin pieces. I would normally ink these up so that you can see the difference. In fact, I think I'm going to stop the camera right here and do that, and then I'll be right back. And I changed my mind. I decided to do this in front of the camera so you can kind of see what I do. I do have a few videos on this, but this will be really quick. So I like to use the distressing crayons when I ink my edges. Some people use chalk or ink. It doesn't matter, whatever you like to do. But I'm going to just take my brown and color it on a makeup sponge a little bit. This is the same thing I do with my wood pieces, my card pieces, anything that I want to add a little edge to. And then you're just going to kind of go across the edge. You can go as light or as dark as you want. And it just gives it a little bit of dimension, a little bit of shadow. If you didn't want to do this, you could actually cut your pumpkin out of 2 different colors, or you can do it out of the same color and just layer it, and it won't have quite the same look, but it still works. It's really how much time you want to put into it, what look you want. And since I've got this out, I'm going to go ahead and just do a little bit on the tip of my pumpkin. And there we go. Set that aside. Okay, so now we can go ahead and assemble our pumpkin. I'm going to take my first piece, put some glue on it, and glue it down. Okay, take the second piece, glue it down. And there's your pumpkin, and you can see what the inking did to that. We're going to add a little bit of a leaf to the top right here. And then there's also a sunflower that you can add, or you don't have to. Depends on what look you want. I'm going to go ahead and put it on there. And then the center of the sunflower. So there is our embellishment piece, the piece that's going to glide. So now in this file, we also have the vine. We have our track piece. We have our decorative panel or our back piece. And we have the card. So I'm going to go ahead and fold the card. This again is a mini slimline card. Let's take our back piece and we're going to go ahead and tape it on to the card with a little bit of the shadow showing through. And now we can assemble our track piece. So we're going to take this vine and we're going to glue it down. And you do want it to stick down, but you don't need to put glue on every little part of it either. Some little dots. This is why I like the, the needle nose glue bottles, because they work really well. You can also take and put your glue on like a silicone mat or something, and then use a brush and brush it on. Okay. Next up, let's take our glider. We're going to find that rougher edge, and we're going to put it at the top. And I wanted this one. So we're going to find that rougher edge and put it at the top. And if I can show this to you, if you can see it, the way that it works is there's channels all the way around it, and then like a stem. It's actually kind of like a thread bobbin, a bobbin thread, and it's just mashed down really tight. So we're going to slide that in there so that it's on both sides, and it's sliding pretty good. And then with these plastic ones, you do get these dots. They're double-sided adhesive dots. So pull one off and put it on the little glider, and then pull the backing off, and go ahead and adhere your element that's going to slide. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now we need to put this on our card again. So I'm going to turn it over, and once again, I want foam tape on the top and bottom of those little hills and valleys. So that's where we're going to start. And you'll notice that your disc is a little bit smaller than those circles that came with your file. Now this one does come with a circle, so you can use that option as well. And then we'll go ahead and get the corners and maybe the bottom right there with some foam tape. This really is kind of a kickback to those penny cards. And I always had fun with those penny cards, but I felt like they were heavy and they didn't mail very well, and they broke a lot of times as soon as the child got it and tried to do it. The glue came off the penny, and so I think this is kind of a little bit of a better option. Put that one there and put a skinny piece right there. Okay. Go ahead and take the backing off those. I will put a link down below of the foam tape that I use. I get mine off of Amazon, but most of your craft stores carry them on the rolls now. I know Michael's does, and I know Hobby Lobby does. I think Joann's does. I'm not 100% positive. No, I'm going to put one more piece right there at the top just to hold it. And these are just some fun, quick little cards. They're perfect for almost any occasion. Let's get that. There we go. Okay, and there is our little pumpkin card. So fun. Perfect for Halloween, Thanksgiving, fall, anything that you can think of. Okay. The last one of the mini slim lines is the Buzzing By card. And this one I am going to use the 3 dots again, the 3 circles. So I've already glued them together. 3 in one stack, 3 in the other stack. And then with this file, you will get your little words that say Buzzing By. I cut these out just fine. They will cut out with your machine, no problem at all. But again, you could use vinyl if you'd rather, or leave them off. You have 3 flowers in 2 sizes and the centerpieces. You have the bee, and I'll show you that bee. He's got some parts here in just a second. We have our track, we have our backing piece, and then we have the card base. Let's go ahead and fold the card base. And let's add the back. Let's get it on straight. How about that? There we go. Okay, then we take our track piece, and it is designed so that the track is up on the top. And I'm going to take I'll turn it over and put that round piece right in the middle. Flip it over, and let's get a piece of the foam tape. And line it right up there with the track. I think I bumped that. I did, I can tell. And then take our other stack of 3 and match it up, and there we go. Okay, so next up we need to add our buzzing by with some glue. This needs to be down pretty flat so that the edges of the embellishment don't catch it when it's moving along the track. Ooh, I almost did that upside down. Buzzing by. Okay, now we can add our flowers. I'm going to add the centers first. Doesn't matter which way you do it, really doesn't. And then we can go ahead and add those to our card. And that is really close to the track. I think I should have done buzzing by underneath it. I think that's how I originally had planned it. We'll see if this still slides. If it doesn't, we may have to redo this card. But as long as the glider piece can go over that, we're good to go. Yep, I think that's still going to be okay. Okay, now for our bee, he has some parts and pieces. So he has one wing that's separate. We have the stripes and the head. We have the body. And then we have this back piece. The only part that's going to show is the other wing. So you'll cut this out of whatever color you want your wings. Sometimes I do this in vellum. For today's video, I did it in white. So we're going to take our body and glue it to the back. Match up everything. And then we're going to take the heads and the stripe. You don't need to put glue on the head because there's no head on this piece. But you want it on the stripes and on the tail end, the stinger end. And then we will go ahead and take our wings and just put a little bit of glue on the end there and add that wing to the top. Okay, now we can go ahead and glue that to our glider piece. I always get nervous making these go when they're still wet, but you want to check it. Okay, that's going to work. We're going to flip it over. We're going to put glue, foam tape on the hills and the valleys. I just realized that all of the slim cards that I'm showing you today have the hill and the valley. I have some others in the works that have a straight line or an arc. I just didn't get those done yet. But when we do the next size card, those have some too. Okay. And now, did I get that one too close? Oh, you know what? I'm going to move this down just a little bit. Okay, that works. Go ahead and put some tape on your edges and your corners. If you're doing a Halloween card, which I am going to do here next, you can find this foam tape in black. I usually have some, but I ran out a while ago and I haven't replaced my black yet. So when I do that card, I'll do it with the white. Let's go ahead and remove all of those pieces. And then we're just going to match that up. And on this one, I did the background piece a different shade of green than I actually did on the track piece. And now our little bee, he just buzzes on by, slides on through. So cute, dipping down into the flowers. So fun. Another one that would be great for a birthday, wedding, shower, summer activity, so many things. Hey, are you ready to move on to the next size? This next one, these are the A2 cards, and this is our Flying Witch. She might be my favorite, I'm not sure. So on this one, we have the 3 layers for our embellishment. We have the witch, we have the full moon, and then we have the shadow of the moon. We have the haunted tree with the fence behind it. You have a bunch of stars that you can use to decorate your track piece. I'm not going to take them off. I'm just going to leave them on there so that I can glue them on. You have your background piece and you have your card. I've already folded my card. So we're going to take our background piece and adhere it to the card. This background piece would be really cool, cut out of like a dark blue with stars or something, some pattern paper, printed paper, digital paper if you had it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and glue all these stars down first, just because they're already sitting there. My pickup tool is going to make this much easier. This is a tool I got from Silhouette, but I think We Are has one. You can find them online, but they just have like a gummy eraser on the end that helps you pick up those little pieces. And you will want to make sure that you're using a clear glue with this, because these stars are kind of tiny and they might ooze, the glue might ooze out. but once they dry, you won't know that. And you can use all of the stars, none of the stars. You could cut out extra stars if you wanted your night to be really starry. Then I'm going to go back over and make sure that those are really pressed down, especially the ones that are close to the track, so that our image will glide over them. Let's take our tree and we're going to just glue it right on there so that the tree branches are kind of close to the glider piece. In fact, the moon will go over them. But the background and the fence are okay. So let's just make sure that that tree is down really good. I'll line it up on the sides and the bottom and press it down. Okay, since we're gluing, let's go ahead and do this as well. I'm going to take the half moon and glue it to the full moon or the shadow of the moon. And then I'm going to add my witch. And we can go ahead and add our glider piece. So for this one, I'm going to use the plastic glider that I bought online, and I'm using one with the circle so that it'll spin as it goes down. I'm taking the rough edge and making sure that that rough edge is up. Okay, and then just make sure that it slides, and it does. I did get one out of the, not this package that I had, but the package before, where it just didn't slide at all, and I took the whole card apart and there was just a little piece of plastic that was in the groove and stopping it from sliding. Okay, so now we're going to open up our stickers and take that adhesive dot, put it on the glider. And there is our little witch, and she will just slide. Once the glue's dry, she will just slide through there. That one is not on very well. Okay, there we go. Much better. And now we can go ahead and flip it over. And this one has the arc, so I want to make sure that I've got a foam dot right up here to hold that in place. That's probably the most important one you're going to put on. So I'm going to cut it a little bit bigger, but I am going to slide it down so that the glider has room to get over it. Okay. And then we can get the corners and the edges. I think I will do another really thin piece right there at the top. How are we on time? Let's remove those backing pieces. And line that up. And this one, And I think this is the only one, well, maybe it's not, but some of the black from the backing piece is going to show all the way around. And there is our witch that slides across the Halloween sky. This one I might put a little bit of powder in that track because I think my plastic piece is not sliding quite the way it's supposed to. But you'll get the idea. Okay. This one is our happy birthday with the balloon, and it does come with the numbers 0 through 9, so you can add any birthday that you want. Just cut out the ones that you want to use and then delete the others. So we have our number. I chose 4 for just because it's got the inside of the balloon and the balloon itself. So depending on what color your numbers are, you could just add the number, or you could even leave it blank and just do your balloon out of like some pattern paper or something that you wanted to do. This one I am going to do it with the circles, so I have 2 stacks of 3 again. Then we have happy birthday that has all your letters and the background. We have our track piece, the back piece, and our card. I'm going to go ahead and fold my card. And just like everything else, we're going to add the back piece. Then we have our track, and I'm going to actually do these letter pieces so they can dry for just a second. So I'm going to take the balloon, the white piece of the balloon, and glue it to the actual balloon, and then the number, and set that aside, and then we'll add our letters, our happy birthday letters. And you could cut these out of different colors, whatever color that you want. Just going to glue them right on there. You know, I'm going to use my pickup tool. And there is a little bit of a shadow behind this offset piece, the back layer, but don't worry about matching everything up just exactly. It's going to look good no matter how you do it. And I actually like it a little bit off-centered anyway, so I'm kind of doing that on purpose just to make it look a little playful and a little bit fun. If some of your letters end up overlapping, that's okay. Do you want to slide that piece down just a little? There we go, it's hanging off the edge. What month is your crazy birthday month? I think every family has one month that seems like there are so many birthdays in it. Ours is October. 2 of my daughters, 4 of my grandkids, my brother, my brother-in-law. October is just so crazy with birthdays. And then we jump right into the holidays after that. We actually have one of our grandchildren's birthdays tomorrow, and we're getting ready to go out to breakfast. That's what she wanted. She wanted breakfast with Grandma and Grandpa. So I thought, well, that's easy enough. Okay, so there is our happy birthday. Just kind of fun and cute. So we've got our track piece. I'm going to go ahead and flip it over. Put the stack of circles, 3 circles behind it. Get a thin piece of the tape. I can already tell you I cut that one too thick. I'm going to need to trim that down just a hair. And then put our other circle right on top. Let's make sure it slides. It does. Okay, we're going to take our happy birthday and we're going to glue it down. You could use a tape runner if you wanted to. I think that's what I'll do. It's just a little bit quicker. But you do want it close to the edge there. I picked up something when I laid it, turned it over. Okay, and then we can just put some glue and our balloon. Oh. Okay, this one I got some glue, too much glue on that slider piece. So we're just gonna let that dry. And then I'm gonna let this dry because I overdid it with the glue. But I would turn it over and I would put the foam dots like I did with all of them on the back, making sure that I've got a piece at this top part and then a skinny piece right here and then the corners and the sides. And I might come back and finish that after it dries for a minute. Okay, we're gonna do this one. I think this is my favorite one. I don't know, but this one does have some small pieces to it. So you will definitely want your little glue bottle. So this is our school bus, and I will show you all the pieces to the school bus in a second. We're going to take it to the side. We have the words that say keep rolling. We have our track piece. We have our back piece, and we have our card piece, which once again is already folded. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back piece on. And this one I am going to use one of the plastic gliders. So there is our back piece. Next, let's do our keep on rolling. And it's the same as what we did with the birthday. So we're just I'm going to use my pickup tool and add a little bit of glue to the back and then just glue those down. This will take just a second. I think this with the little bus would be great for a bus driver at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, you know, when they're about done and still have half the school year to go. It would be good for a teacher that's kind of feeling overwhelmed. A couple of my daughters are teachers, and I know that it is quite the job. My hat goes off to all the teachers, whether it's a public school, private school, charter school, home school. We owe our teachers so much, at least the good ones. Same with our bus drivers. They put up with a lot. When I was going to school, back in the dark ages when you walked up the hill in snow both ways, I did not ride a bus. But it's not because of that. We lived across the street from the schoolhouse when I was a younger child. And I remember going on field trips and getting to ride the bus and thinking it was so cool. And my friends that were on the bus were like, don't like the bus. But those bus drivers deserve our respect and our thanks. And with the saying, keep on rolling, you could give this card to just about anybody because that's something we all need once in a while. tried to keep these designs as simple as I could without losing the fun element of them as well. Okay, keep on rolling. Now we have our school bus, and this school bus does have some tiny pieces. And it's okay, your machine will cut them all out. The first thing is we have this top of the school bus, and it says school. And these are little pieces, as you can see. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to cut them out, or you could cut them out of vinyl, or you could leave them out and write school with a Sharpie, or just not even put school on there. It's completely up to you, but the option is there. Then we have the front of the bus. So we have our grill, and it has two pieces. And then we have this bottom part. I don't know all the pieces that they are, but that's the bottom part. We have the two lights. We have our bumper. Or nope, that's not the bumper. This is the front of the bus. This is our bumper. We have the bus body. We have the rear view mirrors. We have the tires, and we have the wheel. So and then we have the background, and it's white. I don't know how well you can see it on my table, but this is white. So I'm going to start by just building this up from the bottom back, or the bottom up. We're going to add first the rear view mirrors. Then we have our wheel, the steering wheel, and you can just kind of put it on the right hand side up by the rear view mirrors, because you're going to cover it, and so it doesn't really matter exactly where it is. You might only see half of it, which is fine. You might see a little bit more. I'm going to take this body piece, the bus body, main piece. Oh, before we do that, we need to glue on the wheels. Whoops. If you like this bus, I have done one very similar on a chip bag. Okay, now we can add our main piece of our bus. Let's add our front piece. And then our bumper. Did I not get glue on that? Okay, I'm going to glue the front grill to the back of the grill. And it does have some skinny pieces. It will all come together just fine. Put that right up there. And the little piece that goes underneath it. And then our lights. And the top of the bus. And then you can decide if you want the word school on there or not. I'm going to go ahead and do it. When I'm doing something kind of like this that's small, I usually will start with the middle letters. So I'm going to do the O first. And these are pretty tiny. That needed to be over. I didn't do. Oh, I may run out of room. Let's see, SVG. Yep, I'm gonna run out of room. I didn't do that very good. I told you to start with the O, and maybe I shouldn't have. So for pictures, I'm gonna have to redo this piece. Which is okay, because I also did my S upside down. Oh my goodness, I'm not having a lot of luck. Because I did my S backwards. That's what I did. Okay, so there's your school. It's not on there very straight. I'll fix it. But now we can go ahead and do our track piece. I'm going to take my Keep on Rolling. I'm going to actually put that on there. And we are going to tape it up to the top. And then I'm going to take one of my plastic glider pieces. And this time I want the rectangle because I don't need the bus to spin. I just want it to go back and forth. So I'm using this piece that has the rectangle. I'm going to flip it over so that the little rough edge is pointed up to the top. Stick it in there. Make sure it's sliding. It is. Let's take one of our glues, our glue circles. And glue that right on there. It's kind of in the middle. I don't think I got it quite in the middle. And there is our school bus. We're going to flip him over and put our foam tape down. Where it's the straight line, those slide a little bit easier. So I'm just going to put a little bit in the middle of it on the top and the bottom, and then we can go ahead and do the corners and the sides. Card down here. And I can go ahead and glue this track piece right to the back. And there is our little bus that says, "Keep on rolling." Isn't that fun? Okay, let's go ahead and finish up that birthday card and put the tape on it now that the glue has dried a little bit. I need a smaller piece for that. doing a class later with these cards, and I'm going to show you how to use them and change them up so that you can add printable images or lots of other things. But we're going to go ahead and glue this on there, just like that. And there's our little balloon, and he spins as he goes down. This is so fun. So when you get ready to mail one of these cards, what you'll want to do is you're going to want to make sure, let me take one, I'll take the B. You want to make sure that when you stick it in the envelope, your pieces aren't hanging out over any of the edges of the card. When it's out of the envelope, it's fine. But when you put it in the envelope, you're going to want to find the best place so that that glider piece is not hanging over. So on this one, I would put my B there. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have enjoyed this fun little tutorial and that you'll give one of these cards a try. I have put all of the supplies and everything that I've used in the links down below. Please hit subscribe down below so that you don't miss any of my videos. Give me a thumbs up and have a great day.